Hey everybody, this is Jose. We are about to get started. Please go ahead and let's use these 20 seconds for a sound check. And that would mean that I'd love to see you guys type something on the chat box just to confirm that you hear my voice. So just a quick hello would do. This is a sound check. Everybody, please. Check, everybody, please. Okay, we just reached the top of the hour and I can see your messages. It's all good. So we're ready to start. Let me go ahead and maximize our introduction slide so we can start our day normally in an organized fashion. Very good. I see all your messages. Okay, very good. Very nice. Okay, everyone. So hello, my friends. How are you? I didn't change the date. Oh yes, I did change the date. 15th of December 2018. Welcome to the session, everyone. My name is Jose Blasco. I will be your guide today. Today we're getting together to sharpening, isn't it? And the idea is to get deeper into whatever it is that you guys may need, looking into what we're doing in trading, what we're doing when it comes to mentoring you, coaching you, all those things, and therefore getting organized in a proper way so we excel, especially when we get together during trading hours during the weekdays. Okay, so I'll tell you a little more about the plan for today and also for the next session, which is happening on December 29. I will tell you more in just a second before I go over the disclaimer. That way we can start the session officially. So disclaimer, the following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradictive provides these videos purely for the purpose of demonstrating a method of using the product. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide and does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through demonstration do not indicate in any way the results you may receive on using our products. Here we go. So that was the introduction. We're done with that. Here is TradeStation. We have TradeStation. We have all our tools, TradingView as well, etc., etc. And again, let's begin. Okay. So again, today's session and the one that we will have as well on December 29. Let me bring this to the main screen. Okay. So here we have our webpage, tradewithufos.com. You click on the Get Together button and you get here to the calendar. So I would like you guys to notice that we have a session today, Sharpening. This is December 15. And the next one, Sharpening, will be December 29, which is going to be the last Sunday of the year, the last Sunday of the decade, which sounds like a very strong statement, isn't it? And again, I would like to talk about those two sessions because in my mind, they kind of go together. I would like to use those sessions to somehow get organized in this later part of the year, but also most importantly, getting organized into the new year, the new decade, and putting a plan in place for all of you guys to begin the year in the right place in order to kill it in 2020, isn't it? And as the year progresses, you know, understanding where you're at instead of just navigating the year, just looking to see what happens. Okay, I would like, again, trading is all about planning, business is all about planning, and then of course, you know, sometimes we deviate from the plan, so we rectify and we realign. But at least we need to have some sort of a guide, isn't it, to go through the year without any hope or any approach to trading that depends too much on luck. In this case, we want to align our actions to what our goals would be, so we get as close as possible to having those goals become a reality by meeting objectives, which means that we have a lot of planning to be done. Okay, so today, what I would like to do today is to kind of summarize some of the key things that we have been learning together throughout the year. Getting you all, because of course, some of you have been part of the sessions during the whole year 2019. Some of you have been part of the sessions only during the last month, for example. Some of you maybe only 3 months. So everybody may be a little bit in a different place when it comes to where you're at, okay? And when it comes to understanding all the tools available to you. So I would like to kind of review a little bit of everything so you know what is available. Then I would like also to talk about Q&A. I understand based on some emails that you guys have sent that some of you are connecting with us today live because you have certain questions that were complex enough where using email was not the ideal way to answer those questions. So you are here today because you have some questions and I'll be more than glad to give you answers. Okay, so be ready to phrase your questions too. So I would like to take care of that today, which is having all your questions answered and looking at all the tools and all the different approaches to trading that we have, different strategy, different markets, different styles, different tools for your coaching, etc., etc. So basically, concluding the session today, I would like to send you home with a little bit of a homework, which is by understanding everything that is available out there, that you start putting together a little bit of a plan for what you want 2020 to be. And when we meet again on December 29, I would like you guys to share with me what your goals and your plan is, okay? So that way I can help you to assess if what you are proposing to do makes sense or doesn't make sense or is likely to become a reality, or it's too hopeful that may happen. If you happen to be a trader with little experience, you may have a plan that is very good on paper, but then when it comes to reality, it may not be realistic enough. Again, I would like to guide you and coach you in that sense to put you in a place where when 2020 begins, you are as close as possible to reality in order to achieve your goals and objectives. Okay. I'm having a little bit of a problem here on my end. I'm not sure we are well connected. Could you guys please, with a quick message on the chat box, confirm that you hear me well, that sound is okay, that image is okay, that there is no delay, etc., because I am sensing a little bit of delay, and I would like just to confirm that we are fine. I mean, it does look fine now, so I guess we are fine, but please give me a little bit of a confirmation. That would be good. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maka and everybody. Very good. Perfect. Okay, so let's begin. And again, I'm going to start from very generic to more concrete, which probably is the best progression to use. And again, I would like to begin with identifying tools that you have available. Okay, and probably the best place where to start is actually our website. So, I mean, I have no doubt that all of you are aware that there is a website called tradewithufos.com, where basically everything that we do as a company, as a technology, as a trading technology company, everything is right here. But just in case some of you are newer or some of you are not familiar with some of the sections in the website, so I would like to make you all aware of everything that we have here. Okay, so first I would like to start from left to right, pointing at the Get Together button. Okay, and this one, I just said it, but I want to say it again. When you click on Get Together, the first thing that you get is you get access to the calendar of all the sessions that we run. We normally run, I would say, an average of 3 sessions a week, which normally is sharpening on the weekends, long-term and short-term, then happens during the weekdays, which is when the market is open. Okay, that's the normal case. Not always the case. For example, over Christmas and beginning of the year, you may notice we have a few less sessions than normal because there is a lot of holidays, days when the markets are closed, etc. So it may not be always like that, but normally we are shooting for 3 sessions a week, where the idea is sharpening over the weekend, long-term and short-term during the weekdays. Typically as well, most of the sessions have to do with the US market hours open. We refer to everything we do using New York time or US Eastern time, to be a little more technical with time zones. And normally, almost always, we are dealing with 9 a.m. Now, not always. You can see, for example, here, 21 and 22nd of January, we're going to be doing the session on 12 p.m. Okay, and there is always a reason for that. That particular week is because we're going to be running an online course too, in parallel with the mentoring sessions. And of course, we cannot duplicate or multiply ourselves. So we'll be doing the online course at a particular time. And then after the course is over, we'll be doing the coaching, the get-together sessions. Okay, so pay attention to this. My recommendation for all of you is that you use the Add to Calendar feature available on the right side of every one of the sessions that you are interested in attending. Why? Because now, the moment you click on that button, it will give you an option to add those sessions to your own calendar. Okay, and it's very nice. You can add it to Apple Calendar, Google Calendar, Outlook Desktop. You have all those different calendars available, and that way, apart from having our website that can help you to remind yourself of when sessions take place, now you have just placed in your own calendar the sessions that you care the most, and therefore you have your own reminders, etc., so you don't miss it. For sure, if you miss it, we have our YouTube channel, which all of you are aware of, okay? And in the YouTube channel, you can always go ahead and watch the recorded sessions, okay? Which is a great way to also catch up if you miss the session live. But the good thing about the sessions being live is that you can ask questions, you can get real-time answers, etc. So in my mind, the live sessions have much more value and probably more helpful, even though, of course, maybe that day at that time you're not available, so then you have the recorded broadcast. Okay, so now talking about the YouTube sessions. Okay, so let's take a look at the YouTube channel for a minute. So if I turn on the YouTube channel, and by the way, if you're watching this recorded or live, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And beyond, let me go ahead and go to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/c/tradewithufos. This is kind of like the main page of the channel. So for you to subscribe to the channel, I don't have it because I happen to be the owner of the channel, so I am logged in as Trade with UFO, and the channel is Trade with UFO. But any other user would have here on the top a button to subscribe, and most importantly, the notifications. Okay, you have a little bell somewhere here. There will be a little bell. Make sure you click on the bell so you get real-time notifications. It happens at times where we may improvise a session. We may do a session that is out of schedule, or maybe we did a mistake. This could happen. We are human. We made a mistake with the scheduling, and next thing you know, we are running a session at a different time that we have placed in we have written in our website, and by you clicking on the little bell, you get real-time notifications. Okay, and that way you're gonna be alerted that the session is running, and then you can connect if we had made that sort of a mistake. Okay, so make sure you click, you subscribe, you hit notifications. Of course, it is not imperative, but highly recommended. In our channel, what do we have? Okay, well, there are two key sessions for you to be aware of. One is the vitamin T, and the other one is the get together. Okay, and the vitamin T we've got very slow in recent times here. I guess we'll get reorganized and pick up speed again with the vitamin T sessions. The sessions that we conduct with the greatest consistency of all is the get together. So vitamin T, basically, those are short videos that talk about basics, that talk about TradeStation or TradingView. And normally those are like 20-minute videos, something like that. There are a few, they are certainly very, very, very interesting. It's good refreshers. Sometimes you will learn things you didn't know, because sometimes in the get-together sessions, we go straight to the point. In other words, we get a little advanced, and sometimes it's really helpful and healthy to go back to the basics. So vitamin T, if you have not been watching them, just homework from now until December 29, make sure you watch them, okay? So that way you are fully updated with everything you need to know when it comes to basics. The get-together sessions, it's our bread and butter. We got three types, as I said before: sharpening, short-term, and long-term. And as you can see, they are all recorded. So we got 42 sharpening sessions. Those are, let's call it 2-hour long or close to 2-hour long sessions, where we talk about Forex, we talk about futures, we talk about options, we talk about basics of trading, we talk about risk management, we talk about portfolio management, we talk about so many topics. And there is a lot of catching up to be done if you have not been part of the sessions since the beginning. Okay, of course, it is not imperative you watch everything, but the more you watch, the more educated you will be, because there is tons of value in those sessions. And I'm not saying because I'm the one conducting them. It's realistically, objectively, there is a lot of material there with a lot of value. Okay, so at your own pace, make sure you watch them. Short term, we got 52 sessions where we connected live trading. And long term, we use options. We did 48 since we started, and they are all there recorded. We don't erase them. Okay, so if you wanna focus on options, watch those 48 sessions. If your bread and butter is Forex and futures, watch those 52. And then no matter what you do, sharpening is gonna pick up skill for you. Okay, and then here on the bottom there are a few additional sessions, but those are very, very optional. So I will not comment on it, even though for sure you can watch them if you wish. Okay. So back to our website. Okay, so again, we started with the left part of our website, get together. Now let's take a look at the right side. Okay, so the first section that we have, which I guess all of you are familiar with, is the join section. This is where you can activate, if you haven't yet, your trading technology apps. We always use, which by the way, you don't need to if you have other methods, which is fine. But in the sessions, I always use two apps, which is AutoClimate and AutoUFOs. And I use two apps applied to two platforms, which is either TradeStation or TradingView. Okay, and by the way, you may use other platforms, which is fine too. Okay, so again, why is it that we use two apps? Well, we use two apps because what we learn in all the sessions that we have done is that in the end, if you were to summarize all trading techniques out there in the world, a proper trading technique, we need to answer question 1 and question 2. And what is question 1 and question 2? And it doesn't matter which technique you use, but you need an answer to those two questions to be able to have a proper trade in front of you. So question 1 is it time to trade? Okay, time to trade or not? And if so, long or short? Okay, that's the first question. So your trading methodology, no matter what you use, should be able to answer this question. Is it time to trade or not? And if it is time to trade to the long side or time to trade to the short side? Should I be a buyer or should I be a seller? The way I do it, I use AutoClimate. Okay, some of you may use other techniques, it's fine, but certainly that's what you will see me use. Once you know if it's time to be a buyer or a seller, the next question a methodology needs to answer is, okay, so what is my entry price? Okay, and what is my exit price in case I'm right or in case I'm wrong? Okay, so in order to take my profit or to take my loss, what is my entry price and my exit price? And for me to do that, I use AutoUFOs. It's fine, it's absolutely fine if you guys or some of you in the community are using other techniques, or you combine AutoUFOs with other techniques. For example, you use AutoUFOs and you pair it with a moving average, as I do, or you use AutoUFO and you pair it with thieves, or anything you do, it's fine, but you need to have a proper objective mechanical answer to those two questions. So if you want to mimic what I do, I use AutoClimate and AutoUFOs, and here I'm sure all of you are aware of those memberships. You have AutoClimate, AutoUFO, that will be for TradingView, and then if you want it with TradeStation, so here you have your AutoUFOs and your AutoClimate for TradeStation. Okay, so that's it, depending on your platforms. Some of you may not be using TradeStation, may not be using TradingView. You may be using Thinkorswim, Interactive Broker, MT4, the Oanda trading platform for Forex. It doesn't matter what you use. If you don't use TradeStation or TradingView, my recommendation is use TradingView. Why? Because TradingView is free, okay? And you can activate the apps on TradingView, which is probably the lowest cost when it comes to having the technology activated. And now we speak the same language with the same technology. Again, I insist, you don't need to, but certainly that way you will be able to mimic 100% what I do. Some of you have been asking multiple questions, especially in recent times. You've been asking, okay, I'm using TradingView, I'm very happy about it, I love the AutoClimate, but I noticed that with the AutoClimate on TradeStation, you also do it with a radar screen. Okay, so instead of using AutoClimate on the chart, like for example here, where we got AutoClimate on the chart, isn't it? So with TradeStation, I can also have the AutoClimate in a radar screen format. Some of you have asked via email, can I have this in TradingView? And the answer is, unfortunately, at this time, no. Why? Well, because TradingView does not provide a feature called radar screen or something similar. There is a scanner on TradingView, but it's only looking for basic stuff, which is standard stuff, which is nothing related to customized trading technology. Therefore, you cannot do what TradeStation does. Everybody keeps in mind, TradeStation is way more advanced than TradingView as a platform, even though TradingView is amazing. I love it, love it, love it. And actually, the mobile version of TradingView is absolutely amazing in my mind. Well, TradeStation is still, as a platform, as a desktop application, is more, let's call it complete, or gives you more features. Okay, so what is the workaround if you wanted to have TradeStation, but you still want to continue running your trades with Thinkorswim or Oanda for Forex, because TradeStation is not a Forex broker. They have Forex charts, but it's not a Forex broker. So what is the workaround? Well, the workaround is that you open an account with TradeStation, okay? Just to give you specific information, even though you always need to double check that with their website, because what I'm about to say may change through time, you never know. So you fund an account with $500, okay? That's the minimum requirement for TradeStation. You don't need to trade. Okay, you just have $500 in the account, and by doing that, they will accept you as a customer, and then you have free market data, free platform fees, and then you can go ahead and subscribe for AutoUFO and AutoClimate. Then, of course, you'd be charged $89, but not by TradeStation. That would be by us. And then, with TradeStation again, you have access to the full technology for your analysis, and then you can use Thinkorswim, Oanda, any other platform of your choice, interactive brokers, etc., to place your trades. Okay, many of the members of our community are doing these type of combinations. In the end, it's really personal preference, and it's difficult for me to say what's best. What's best to me is to use both, because that way, when you are on the go, you are using TradingView. When you are, at home, and if you have a complex, complete desktop with multiple monitors and stuff, then you are enjoying TradeStation. Okay, so again, That's personal, as I said. What else? On the right, guides. So TradeStation guides and TradingView guides. I think I don't need to explain any of that because the TradeStation guides and the TradingView guides are sent to you via email the moment you subscribe to the apps. So all of you should have them, but let's say you lost the email or something, you can always come in here, you click on the link, and then you will be able to download the PDF user guide for both of the apps. I know, and here's a strong advice, guys. I know that looking at user guides often makes us feel a little lazy about it, isn't it? Because it's more fun to look at a chart or a computer screen instead of a PDF document. But really, many times we receive many questions from app users that have questions about app functionality, like for example, on how do I add more candles on the radar screen or stuff like that. But guess what? It's all in the user guide. So know your tools. It's a strong recommendation. It's 15 to 20 pages. May not be the most exciting read in your life, but you do it once in your life and you become aware of all the functionality of your technology, and it's healthy. Okay, it's like reading the user guide for the car you bought. Okay, no one reads the user guide for the car you bought. Well, guess what? If you did read it, someday you get in trouble, you get a problem in the highway and it's snowing out there or something, and the one thing you learn from that user guide really saves you from a tremendous problem. So it's worth it. Just read the guide. Okay, it's a very strong recommendation, even though it's probably not the most fun thing to be done. Okay, but a strong recommendation. What else? Samples. So now samples, if I click on samples and I scroll down the page, you're gonna get to see trade samples that are being submitted by our users. Okay, so you can see here trade examples. Now those trade examples are also submitted in our social media, and to be honest, the functionality of pages such as Facebook, Twitter, etc., it's actually more advanced compared to the functionality of this particular page on our website. So if you don't mind, I will show you the samples later on, and I will explain how you may want to use it, because those samples can be certainly useful as well to open your eyes, okay, on certain styles of trades and things that you could be doing that maybe you're not doing. One important part of the website is your account. Okay, your account section. So when you get into your account section, okay, if you would be exposed to your username and your password, and now you can log in. And what's important for you to know is that there is plenty of functionality in here that is accessible, where at this moment in time, basically it's simply about your membership or your subscription. It's basic stuff, even though it's a lot of functionality is basic, but we are gonna be adding a lot of stuff inside the account. Okay, especially in this year that is coming. So make sure you have your username and password. If you don't have it, earlier when I show you the join section, let me show you that again. In the join section, let's say you are not using the apps, which is fine. You're still welcome to be part of our community. Still, go ahead and click on agree and join for the basic, okay? So that way you get your username and password, and you get emails that remind you of when the sessions takes place, all those things. And that way you are better communicated with us. But also the important thing of doing that is that now you have your username. When you have your username, you can do things such as downloading certain files that will put there for you. In this particular case, you have the user guides. They are downloadable from here too. But there are more things, okay, that will be coming, and also depending on the memberships that you will have access to certain files. Also, for the people that you are subscribed, okay, so here you can control your subscription. You can add subscription, maybe you cancel subscriptions. You can do everything from here, and so make sure you are aware of this account section. And then the cart is just when you are joining, whatever you add on the join basically will go into the cart. So then you can process your payments. So that one I'll skip it because it's just a cart like any other e-store on the website. Okay, now samples. The other thing that is useful here in samples is inside samples you have examples, and this is super basic, okay, but again I would recommend you guys to read the examples before you read the guide, because it talks about trading directionally with the apps, directionally long and short, and then also it talks about trading non-directionally, And some of you may attend the long-term sessions that we do. You may have never traded options, and reading this paragraph and maybe looking at these examples help you understand some of the trade setups that we look for when we are planning our trades. Okay, so take a look at all of this stuff. Again, this is homework from today until the next session, December 29, so we can make it a proper plan for 2020. Okay, I know today I'm super basic. Actually, I'm so basic that I'm actually talking about our website. It's some of you may know all that stuff, but again, it's important that we are all in the same page as we end the year and we begin a new decade, isn't it? Cool. Okay. So what else? Let me see. When it comes to our website, I think that will be it. Yes, that would be it. So now, social media stuff. Okay, so let's begin with TradingView. Well, all of you are familiar with TradingView because I use it in the sessions. What I never do with TradingView is to use the publish functionality. Okay, I never do it during the sessions. Okay, we do it at other times because we do publish trades every single day. But I don't do it in the sessions. And you know what? It was brought to my attention that many of you are familiar with TradingView, but most of you think of TradingView like it's a trading platform. And certainly it is, but it's much more than that. TradingView is a mix of a trading platform together with a social media platform, and therefore it could be very useful, guys, for you to communicate with each other, to post trades, to comment on trades that you're planning to take, etc., etc. Okay, I see Bojan is with us today. By the way, you have a comment here. I found the TradingView Vitamin T videos very helpful as I was trying to navigate through TradingView. Thanks for the comment. Thank you very much, and thanks to Brian. If Brian is with us today, because Brian has been key putting those videos together. So thanks so much, Brian. Yeah, I wanted to point at Bojan in this case as well, because we are using a channel using the Telegram platform, and almost every single day Bojan will say good morning everybody, and he will be posting his trades on that channel, which is a great place where to do it too. And by the way, if you want to be part of that channel, send us an email. Okay, send us an email to reach. Let me write it down for you guys. Reach at tradewithufos.com. Okay, send us an email to this address, so we can send you the links. So that way you can enter the channel and be connected with all of us as well, using a Telegram channel as well as a Discord group that we have if you're interested. But anyway, so I was pointing at Bojan because every single day, that's it, he's there, is getting everybody awake in the US time zone and getting everybody ready, posting their trades and etc. Isn't it, Bojan? So another way to be able to post your trades or additional to Telegram as well would be to use TradingView, because TradingView, as I said, is a social media platform. Actually, when you look for when you are searching here in the search box, notice how we got multiple things, including people. So maybe you are looking for me. My username is Jay Blasco, and you want to send me a private message. So just like you would do with Facebook, you can find me there and send me a private message. To be honest, I'm much more active using, sorry for that, I just hit the wrong button. I am much more active using the Tradictive username than my own personal username, to be honest. But my point is that you can find people. You can find Bojan, you can find, many of you guys that are in TradingView. You can communicate with each other. But also, when you post trades, you can also use a tagging feature. For example, if I wanted to post this particular chart, okay, and again, the reason why we're talking about this is because it's critical that in one hand that you know how the tools work so you can use them well, but second, for you to kill it in 2020, okay, we all understand the importance of trading psychology, we all understand the importance and the power of community. So the last thing you want to do is to trade in a way that is isolated, okay? So publishing your trades so other people in our community gets to connect with you, help you to confirm if the trade that you're looking at makes sense or not, etc., is critical. Okay, so let's say I want to publish that particular chart. Okay. Okay, so here the resolution is too small. Okay. Yeah. So I'll do it in this chart. Okay. So if I want to publish this idea, still too small. Okay. This one. Here we go. So if I wanted to publish this chart, 60-minute time frame, okay, I can give it a name, okay. So that would be the name. I can give a full explanation, okay. I can now select if that was a long trade, a neutral trade, or a short trade. I can even pick categories, okay. Normally when I do it myself, I always pick support and resistance and supply and demand, because basically I'm looking at my entry and exit points. This is probably the most important you can write here is your entries and exits, isn't it? So because support and resistance, supply and demand serve very well for that, that's normally what I pick. You can certainly pick other categories, but then most importantly, here's where this becomes very useful. When you tag it using the pound sign, and then you can select auto U, and notice how the AutoUFOs tag exists. So you can now select it, okay? And you can even link it to Twitter accounts, stock tweets, and then you publish. So when you publish, what's the beauty? I'm not gonna publish this one because obviously it's not well done, but when you publish, what is the beauty? Two things that are important for you to know. First, let me cancel that. First, I was publishing this chart, right? So this chart got auto-climate. So let's say the person who is gonna see my published trade doesn't have AutoClimate. Guess what? They will still see AutoClimate, even though they are not subscribed to AutoClimate, because you publish your trade with AutoClimate. For that chart, for that time frame, AutoClimate will work for whoever is watching it. In other words, you can communicate your idea in a proper way to people that may or may not have the apps. If you were to do it here with AutoUFOs, same story. AutoUFO would be published, okay? And that person will be able to comment and see exactly what you see on your chart, even if you were not to be subscribed to the apps. So that's one of the things that is powerful. But the other thing that is even more powerful is that now within your community, right? Within the community of UFO traders, okay? And some of you may be close to each other, or maybe in the same country, same state, same city, and maybe sometimes you get together for coffee or something, in person or online. So maybe now you can look for your own trade ideas, okay? And the way you can look for it is to use the tag. So now you can look for AutoUFOs, okay? Notice I changed people to trade ideas. And now, oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to do that again because I hit escape. So if you look for AutoUFOs here, okay, and now I search, so what's gonna happen is that you're gonna have trade ideas that are posted by, for sure, us, Trade with UFO and Tradictive, but also other people, okay? Other people. And what's the beauty? Well, the beauty now is that you can click on that trade idea, okay? And now you can go ahead and like a picture on Facebook, you can, you can like, you can follow, you can do multiple things, but you can also use this box to comment. And this could be a very powerful way, especially for the ones of you that started not so long ago, that now you are connected with each other and it's like, okay, hey John, what do you think about this trade? So instead of having an incomplete conversation over the phone, you post it here, and now John gets to see your trade, gets to see exactly the chart you have with the drawing you had, with the indicator and the apps that you were using, everything exactly like it was on your screen. And now he or she gets to comment on your trade, and you have a much more interactive way to work, just like you would do with other social media tools. Okay, so this is a feature that I believe not everybody is aware of. Okay, and it's a great thing to be done with TradingView. Okay, so again, this is how you want to work with TradingView. One more thing as well, of course. We are in TradingView and we are posting, if you look for people and you look for Tradictive, okay, that's our company. So you get to our page, if you wish, right? And in our page, so you can see where we are, you can see our website and all that stuff. That's all generic stuff from social media. What's important though is that you can click follow or like or both. The follow is probably the most important one. Why? Because now notice how every day, so 13th of December, 12th of December, 11th of December, every day we are posting trades here, Okay, every single day we are posting trades, and therefore we're giving specific instructions so you can come and take a look. And by the way, keep in mind, and I did say that before, that these trades are very basic, okay? Because these trades are for people that are in very early stages. So here we are not even looking at the climate, we're just looking at AutoUFOs. So they are very, very, very basic trades. Way more basic than the trades that we planned together when we did get together sessions, but still you can take a look, you can comment, you can compare, etc., and it's every day, and certainly you guys can get access to these, and you get reminders on the email the moment you click follow, okay? And the moment we post, you get an alert, okay? What else? Well, talking about social media, Facebook. Now, Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, I'm gonna treat it as one. So let me load the three. Okay, let me load the three. Oh, actually, I loaded the wrong LinkedIn. I'll come back to LinkedIn in a minute. So first of all, if I get to Facebook, okay, and you get to facebook.com/tradewithufos, okay, so facebook.com/tradewithufos. Well, notice how we are broadcasting this session live on Facebook. Okay, apart from doing it live on YouTube, we also do it on Facebook. Some of you may prefer Facebook than YouTube. I particularly prefer YouTube, but it's okay. You can see there. But what's most important is that in a regular basis, you get to see either messages that we share with the community and also, most importantly, trades, which in this case, those trades are coming from our sampler team. Our samplers are not employees of Tradictive. There are people out there that are utilizing the app in various ways that are posting their trades, and you get to see how they trade using the apps. And this could unlock a lot of your potential, because there are many things that maybe you never realized before. So for example, here is a trade from Frank Cuevas, which may be with us today. I think I saw your name earlier, Frank. It was Franz Tandeas. Sorry for that, I read it very, very fast. But Frank is with us all the time, so maybe you are here or you're watching this recorded, Franz. A big hug to you if you are around or you watch this recorded. Frank is applying AutoClimate, is applying AutoUFOs. So basically he's doing the same application I do when I do the get-together session. So, but these are his trades. So you can see other traders applying it, which is very good to reinforce what you do on your own, because when you are trading on your own, again, we're talking about trading psychology now. When you trade on your own, you are isolated at home, isn't it? And when you're isolated at home, many times confidence problems may arise. At least this used to happen to me when I was learning. It's like, okay, the trade looks good, but I feel that this, or I'm not sure about that, and now what? Right? So it's good to look at trades from others, because you get to realize how they trade, and you will see that they found setups that were similar to yours, and you get to see how other people reacted to that and how they took the trade and stuff. So that could certainly work very well to confirm that what you do is right or not. You can also, let me scroll down. Okay, Facebook is loading more data. Here we go. So you can also look for traders that trade using other techniques. So for example, here is Chuck Phillips. Chuck is with us from time to time as well. Chuck is an amazing trader, super experienced. Okay, and he trades options, he trades Forex. This is basically, this is listening to a very savvy person sharing knowledge, expertise, experience. So sometimes it's nice to just take a quick intraday trade and pick up a few pips. So you get to see a very experienced trader happy enough to catch a small move, because sometimes there is a big move to be taken, but sometimes only a small move is available. And that's fine too, depending on your trading plan and market setups. So again, looking at other trades and how other people trade, that can really be helpful for you guys, okay? Let me keep scrolling down to show you a few more examples. And by the way, the same examples that you have on Facebook, we have them on Twitter. So if you are more into Twitter, okay, just make sure you click follow, you follow us so you get alerts. But same story, okay? So here we got Subhash KL. If you're with us, Subhash, nice hug to you as well. Forex trade swing. Here is Frank, the same trade as before that was on Facebook. These are Forex trade that you can find on TradingView as well. Basically, you know, we kind of replicate what we do in different platforms because we know that everybody is a different story. Some of you love Facebook, some of you hate Facebook, some of you love Twitter, some of you hate Twitter. So we put it in all platforms, so you guys use whatever you like best, okay? So here is MK, okay, amazing trade here, you know, trading the Euro futures, okay? He's a swing trader trading multiple futures contracts, currencies, indexes, commodity energies. Again, you get to see trades from others, okay? So all that stuff is very, very relevant. Another thing that is relevant that we do on our social media is to tell you about other initiatives that we have, okay? So for example, here there is a post, okay? Where in this post, okay, we were talking about, I'm super excited about this, by the way. I'm deviating from what I wanted to say here, but I'm super excited about that because I'm going to be teaching a class in London, beginning of the year, beginning of the decade, 11 and 12 of January. And basically in this post, we were talking about the class that I'm going to be teaching. And here you have information, you know, there is early bird coupons and stuff. And so we share that with you so you can get access to the class for lesser cost and those things. So it's just about being connected, okay? So we got Facebook, we got Twitter, and LinkedIn is the same, okay? So you can come here and type trade with UFOs. Here we go, trade with UFOs company. Okay, and you know, basically you got again the same posts and everything. Again, I'm super basic. Today we are kind of doing a little bit of housekeeping, if you wish, in this beginning part of the session, right? Where I'm getting to show you different things. In this case, our Trade with UFO channel, you know, where you can see Chuck Phillips, you know, Frank, MK, you know, this is another trade with France, I believe. This was Seymour anonymous, okay? Sometimes some of our samplers prefer to stay anonymous, but notice here how a Bollinger Band is being used combined with the UFOs. So again, you get to see different styles, okay? Good. What else? So we got the website, we got the YouTube, we got TradingView, we got Facebook, we got Twitter, we got LinkedIn. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, so from a point of view of tools and so on, that's all. Okay. Now I want to go back to the YouTube channel 1 second, because again, talking about homework, I want to get back to the sharpening sessions. Today we are doing sharpening, right? So there are a few key sessions that I would like to point at. So if you haven't watched them, at your own pace, I don't want to give you too much pressure about it, but certainly from a healthy point of view, I would like to point at the key sessions that we have conducted, so you get to catch up with watching the recordings whenever you can, if you haven't done yet. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the very beginning, and the first thing I want to talk about is the options sessions. Okay, so we got 7 sessions, which are 2 hours each. Option 1, option 2, part 1, part 2, option 3, part 1, part 2, option 4, option 5, option 6, and option 7 a little higher, okay, which they are 2 hours each, and those sessions are, I would say, quite powerful. Now, if you never traded options before, you may need to watch them twice, because there is a lot of material, a lot of information, etc., etc. Okay, there is a lot of material, information, and everything else. Okay, so take it easy. Watch it at your own pace, but if you are attending the sessions that we do that are long-term, okay, if you are attending the sessions that are long-term, make sure you have watched those sessions, okay, or you are in the process of watching them, because you will need a lot of the terminology, the concepts, etc., that are described there. Okay, cool. Let me see a few questions there. Yeah, Praghakara, I'm reading your message. Yes, I saw your name. You are registered for the London event. I'm very excited to meet you in person, my friend, and everyone else in the UK area. It'll be what a privilege for me, guys, because you know I love technology, as you guys know, and you know it's a privilege to also be connected with technology such as YouTube, and we are connected and so on, and it's so great. I feel I know you in person, right? But getting to be in person in the same room for a couple of days, it's wow, it's really magic in many ways. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited to begin the year that way. So yeah, thanks for that message very much. Anyway, what else we have here that is important? Okay, intraday 1 to 4. Those 4 sessions, okay, if I was to point at the most important sessions of the whole sharpening playlist on YouTube, I would say those are the most important ones. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the content in there is really relevant, but also it seems that the majority of you are watching the sessions that are short term. Okay, we have many more of you watching and doing short-term trading compared to the ones of you doing longer-term options trading, which somehow makes sense because options is a more complete and therefore evolve and therefore complex asset, and therefore I guess some of you are taking a look at it little by little at your own pace, and someday you'll be there, but you are taking your time, which makes a lot of sense. So again, these 4 sessions, intraday 1 to 4, are very important because most of you are doing intraday, but also because the principles that you learn there not only apply to intraday, they actually apply to long-term trading too. So therefore, those sessions are a must, and you cannot miss those sessions if you have not watched them. It's so important that you catch up with those recordings, okay? So counting on you on that as a New Year resolution or homework from now until the 29th. That's 2 hours each, a little more than 2 hours at times. So 2 hour 24, 2 hour 41, 2 hour 31, 2 hour 54. Well, I guess I was speaking a lot that day. And but yeah, very, very, very impactful, okay? Cool. What else? We have a calibration here, calibration session, which is very important because, as you know, AutoUFO has calibration parameters, and often we receive questions which is, so which is the right figure for me to use? And the answer, of course, like everything in life, is it depends. It depends on your plan and your preferences, on who are you as a trader, what's your risk aversion, and all of these impact your calibration settings. So in that sense, watch that session closely because it's very impactful, okay? Sharpening, Q&A, again, those in one hand you can skip, but if you have time, you learn so much from other traders' questions that if you are new to trading, I would recommend you to not to miss them, okay? Forex, that day we just talked about Forex, that's it, okay? Long term, certainly if you're a long-term trader, those are very important. Here that day, that was a very impactful session with Chuck. Chuck conducted that session where he was teaching a way on how to play gaps intraday with options. So that was a very impactful session as well. Then we talked more about long-term investing, stuff like that. We talked about Option Station Pro, Gamma Hedge, Iron Condors. All of this is options, portfolio management. So this is only for the options traders out there. Damage control, again, that's options, okay? Weekend risk, this applies to swing traders, not necessarily with options. Hedge portfolios, so again, this was very impactful as well for options traders, so this is only for options traders. Flowchart, super important, but not as it says old, which means that later we have a new one, so you can skip this one if you wish and just focus on the new one. Trading psychology, this is another one of those sessions that has been so impactful. We've received so many emails from traders, connecting with us and basically saying thank you for conducting this session. And by the way, this thank you is not to me in this case. That thank you is for Bojan, because Bojan conducted this session and it was so eye-opener for many people that never thought about certain things when it comes to their own psychology. And trading is all about psychology, my friends, as you know. So don't miss it. Okay, this session is just as important as the 4 intraday sessions that I said. Okay, that's how important it is. Then we got auto climate, okay, which is very important for you to understand your tool. More questions and answers. We talked about futures, debit and credit strategies. That's for the options trader. And here was the last version of the flowchart. That's why earlier we had the old version. So you can skip the one below. but certainly don't skip the one above if you haven't watched it yet. And then we got Q&A. So that's it. Hopefully by going through the list together, you got to identify what is your homework, if any. I know some of you, I don't know if Mark is with us today. I know Mark is catching up. Mark has been away for a while because of personal reasons and so on. And now he is back to us and is catching up, right? So I don't know if you caught up with everything, Mark, or you're still in the process. But again, wherever you are, hopefully with this little description I just went through, you understand what those sessions are about and what's important and what is less important. And by the way, if you have any question, phrase it here so I can clarify it for you in the session today, okay? Good. Jose, any plans to making it to the US in the new decade? Yes, the answer is yes, Bojan. Okay, so first of all, yes, in an online format. So if I get concrete, let me make no mistake. So January 20 to 24, we're gonna be running the same class that we'll run in England. Okay, remember I said 11 and 12 will be running this class in London physically. So January 2024 we'll be running the class online. Okay, and then in the US the answer is yes, but I don't know dates and locations yet, but we will. Okay, so I'll be around at times in places. Okay, guys, so just for you to know. And certainly it's gonna be not only fun, but it's a tremendous pleasure to get to meet you in person, guys. If you happen to be able to join me and I happen to be close enough to you so you can join me, so again, it's gonna be very special moments. Cool. Thank you for the shout out, Jose, but if it wasn't for your teaching, I would not be where I am today. Well, my friend, you know what? Thank you so much, and it's very kind of you, but and this may look like, you are complimenting me, I am complimenting you, and in one hand it is, because we are very polite people, isn't it, Bojan? But now getting more serious, my teaching without your effort, and this applies to all of you, okay? Even though I'm using Bojan as an example, but this applies to all of you. My teaching without your effort is nothing. Really, the person taking knowledge and converting it into skill is you guys. So congratulations, it's to you, not to me, okay? So keep that in mind all the time. And that's why, I make myself available for you to be able to clarify, so you can put time and effort into developing your own skill. And then you make me so proud. Is that making sense? But I appreciate that you appreciate my time and my being devoted to coaching you and teaching you. But at the same time, really, nothing's going to happen unless you put time and effort, no matter the quality of our technology, the apps, the quality of the sessions and the time we spend together and the delivery, and which again, your words means a lot, Bojan, but again, it's all about you guys, okay? You guys need to develop yourself into the trader that you are. You guys need to look at yourself in the mirror, practice, go through challenges, realize who are you as a trader, work on the psychology aspect of trading to understand who you are as a trader, and then pick up skill. And from there, you kill it. And this time takes time and effort, okay? And I wish I could do something like that and shorten it. And technology helps a lot, but in the end, it's all about you guys, okay? So if someone needs to be congratulated, here is you guys, okay? So keep up the good work. I mean it like big time, okay? I really, really mean it. Anyway, so good. That's it. So again, we're gonna get now into Q&A, okay? So you guys have emailed me. I received multiple emails, and I'm counting that today in the session with us, we have a few of you that have important questions, that are trading questions and so on. And you are free to begin phrasing those questions anytime on the chat box, so I can take a look at your questions and we can go over it. I do want to kind of summarize a few things that are key when it comes to the methodology, just as a refresher of things that are key as well. So I do want to do that, and this will be the idea for today's session. Take a look at your questions and also have a little bit of a refresher of some of the key components, if you wish, of what we do when we trade. But also, okay, remember, the reason why we went through this review of the website and the YouTube channel, which to some of you it's something very well known. The reason why we went over all of this is because to some of you it's less well known, and the next time we get together is on the 29th for sharpening. And I would like that session to be a session where we are putting a plan in place for 2020. Okay, so homework is what we are doing now. Okay, I am assigning you some homework to do. Of course, I understand that all of us in this room are adult. We have responsibilities. We have jobs. We have kids. You know, whatever. Everybody hears a different story and have different availability or limitations for time. So I'm not gonna tell you what to do, what not to do. But in a perfect world, you would take this homework seriously. You would catch up on videos. If you haven't caught up with videos, you got 2 weeks to do that. Okay, so everything that you need to know about what we do is known. And out of understanding what we do and the tools that you have available, what I would like is that you make a plan for 2020. And the homework is that you share this plan with me on December 29. If you want to email it to me before that date, is fine too. But and the plan doesn't need to be something too complicated, too lengthy, too difficult. Okay, when I think about plan, I would like you to answer very key questions. So simple that we don't even need to make a list. That's how simple I want you to keep it. I would like you to explain to me, if you could explain to me in like 2 or 3 paragraphs, I would like you to explain to me what is your training going to look like in 2020 in 2 or 3 paragraphs. If you want to be more concrete and add objectives and figures and percentages, and it's fine. But if you don't add that, it's fine too. Okay, so you may come to me and say, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trade futures. I'm gonna focus on the S&P, the Nasdaq, and the Euro contract. I'm gonna trade 2 hours a day. At that time, I'm gonna do this and that and that. I'm gonna use this broker, whatever. So explain it to me in words. That's what I care the most. And I would like you to prepare that paragraph or 2. You may send it to me in an email ahead of time, or you may just have it written. So the day of the session, you can just copy paste on the chat box and then we can talk about it. Because out of reading what your plans are, I may have comments to you that may lead into some minor modification of what you are thinking that could really help you, or maybe identify something that could be source of danger. For example, trading too many correlated markets or whatever, and then I'll be able to phrase it for you and help you to begin 2020 in a better place with a greater probability of achieving your goals. And of course, a proper business plan implies much more detail afterwards when it comes to defining goals, percentage wise, how much capital you're going to use in your account, how much is the risk per trade. So there are multiple things that you need to design, but these would come after you have designed what type of trader you want to be, what type of markets you want to trade, what time of the day you're going to trade. So that's why I'm asking you to phrase it in a form of a paragraph, kind of like, let's say a friend of yours that is not a super expert trader, knows a little bit about trading, but is not an expert trader. So if he was to ask you, so how's your trading life look like? How does your trading life look like? Okay, so I would like you to explain it with words more than with figures or tables or things like that. Okay, and so that way I can understand where you're coming from, can give you some feedback about that, and then it will be your second homework after the session is over, which is to finalize your plan for 2020. Okay, and again, that's an important session. So you start in a specific place with specific ways instead of begin 2020 just trying this, trying that. And next thing you know, you realize it's September 2020, and basically you've just been doing what I call experimental trading, which is just trying things instead of executing a plan. Which, by the way, it's fine if you do experimental trading with another account, with real money or paper money, and you do experimental trading with another account, it's fine. But you should have an account where you do things that are serious stuff. And it's also fine for that account where you do serious stuff that you use paper money. You may say, wait a minute, Jose, I just started trading 1 month ago. I'm not ready to go live full size yet in 2020. I wish that was the case, but I'm not ready yet. So then it's fine that you're not ready yet, but you still need to have a plan where you may use paper money for that plan, but the plan needs to be like if it's real money. So you act in a way that is very, very specific instead of you do experimental trading. Okay. And again, you can do your plan in one account, real or simulated, and then you can do experimental trading in another account, which is also real or simulated. Okay, you can do both. But the plan I'm talking about is not the experimental. The plan I'm talking about is the real trading. Okay? So again, it's a pretty serious homework. Normally, I don't give you homework. Normally, if I give you homework, I make it very informal. In this case, it's informal in the sense that what I'm asking you to do is to watch videos, catch up, and write a few paragraphs. So in that sense, it's quite informal. But in the other hand, it's formal in this sense because I'm asking you to do it. Okay? And I would like you to use me to keep you accountable and use December 29 as a deadline so you comply with that deadline so you have a plan. Instead of next thing you know, you got distracted and now you are doing Christmas shopping and next thing you know, something happened. Next thing you know, it's January 20 and you haven't had your plan yet. And now next thing you know, oh, I'll do it next month and something happens and now it's March. You get my point? So can I count on you guys? Okay, can I count on you? Can I see that written on the chat box? And again, this is coming from the point, as I said before, I understand we are all adult. We all have responsibilities. These may work with you, these may not work with you. If it doesn't work with you, it's fine. But if it works with you, commit to it. That's my healthy demand as your coach. And I would like you to write it on the chat box. Okay, so it's written and therefore you are committed to it. Okay, so we can talk about it to another level on the 29. Okay, so let me see here a few more comments. Yeah, it seems I don't know why I got disconnected on the chat. Let me reconnect with the chat, because if you guys are writing now your commitment and I got disconnected from the chat, it's not a good thing, isn't it? Let me reconnect. Very nice. That's it. I'm reconnected. Very nice, Pansy. Perfect. I see you. Thank you very much, Royce, as well for your comment. Very good, everybody. Very good, friends. Very good. I see you all, guys. Okay. And again, we are all adult here. Okay. So you don't have to type anything, but here's your opportunity to set a deadline and use me for accountability purposes. Okay. Which makes you better. It's like having a personal trainer in the gym. Okay. You end up doing the push-ups you need to do. Okay. So use me, guys. Okay. And if you're watching this recorded, you cannot type on the chat box, but send me an email. Say, Jose, I watched the recording. I'll be there on the 29. I'll be sending you the paragraphs, okay, with the description of what I want to do in 2020. If you cannot be there on the 29 at 9 a.m. Eastern time, just send it to me in an email and I can give you feedback back in the email as well, okay? Cool. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna give you a 5-minute break, okay? Because we've been going for like an hour. When we are back from the 5-minute break, so I'll be taking a look at your questions. So if you have any question about anything, and again, I've received a collection of questions on emails that were complex enough not to reply in an email. So we agreed on the email that you guys would be here live today and you will be typing, and therefore I would be answering live. So if you're here, type it on the chat box and I will take care of those questions after we're back. And then we look at some key components of what we do in trading as an important review, and then we'll call it the day. Okay, so 5-minute break. See you in 5 minutes. Hey everybody, sound check. Can you please confirm that you hear my voice? Quick message on the chat box would do, so we can restart. Very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, everybody. So, questions. Any question you guys may have, go ahead. This is the time to type or copy paste on the chat box. I will be looking into it. As I give you a little bit extra time to put that together, I want to remind you of some key documents that we have available. So one document that we use all the time in the sessions, it's this document right here. Okay, it's not the prettiest document in the world. Actually, it's actually quite let's call it quite terrible. But at the same time, it serves very well. At least if you are like me, I do have a lot of what we call visual memory or photo memory. So this document is the document that I normally use to type while I am delivering the sessions. Okay, and many times, if you are like me, you know, the writing that is being done while the knowledge is being acquired acts as a very powerful reminder when you kind of review or study on your own. Okay, so if anyone wants a copy of this document, you can just email us. Okay, at reach@tradewithufos.com, and we can send it to you. Okay, so we have information about options. We have information here about, you know, option spreads, terminology. You know, we have information about the Greeks, using the weekend for margin, building and maintaining a portfolio. So there is a lot of things here. There are a lot of things, even though the structure and how the document has been created it's between us quite ugly, because this document was created in a way that was real time while you were watching the sessions live. Okay, so this is not a book or a proper, you know, textbook or something like that. Okay, but still it could be useful. So if you want a copy of it, you just need to email us. Okay. What else? In TradeStation, okay, we use scanners to be able to identify market opportunities and save time when looking for trades. Okay. Okay. So two things. You can import the same scanner I have with the same rules. Okay. You can import it as long as we send you a file. You can then go ahead and restore that file that we send you. And by restoring that file, automatically you would have access to the very, very same scanners with the same parameters and the same everything I have on my screen as we speak. Okay, so many of you have asked for it, but many of you have never asked for it. So know that this is available, and if you email us at reach@tradewithufos.com, we can send you that document. Not only that file that you can import into TradeStation, but also this PDF file that show you what each scanner does. So here, for example, you have the directional scanner long. Okay, and here below you get to see what the scanner is looking for. Why? Because maybe you use a platform that is not the same as TradeStation, and you want to replicate, or at least get as close as possible to replicate the scanner. Okay, so you could do that. Okay, so you have 5 pages here, which is directional long, directional short, purely non-directional, neutral long, and neutral short. So you have the 5 pages, so we can send you that too, so you can replicate the scan process. What else we have? Portfolio. We have a spreadsheet which we have used when we have talked about maintaining a portfolio with different trades, okay, and balancing delta and things like that. Okay, so one of the sharpening sessions, in one of those sharpening sessions, we talked about this, okay, and this spreadsheet is the one that I put together to be able to implement what was taught in that sharpening session. So if anyone wants the portfolio spreadsheet, you just need to email us and we will send it to you. What else? probably the most important file of all the files is this one, the flowchart. Okay, so you may have taken a screenshot, but if you want to have the high resolution file with everything in it, you just need to email us and we will send you that file. Okay, together with that file, of course, it's going to be very, very useful for you to also get access to the timeframes file, which is this one, where you can see all the timeframes depending on how active you want to be, using a common time frame of 15 minutes or 60 or 240. You have all the futures markets that are liquid here on the list, and then you have which is the edge time frame you have to use, 2 minutes combined with 15, or 8 minutes combined with 60, or 21 minutes combined with 240. But then you also get the equivalencies for share time frames and tick time frames for all those markets, for all those different setups. Okay, so with a 60-minute time frame as a common time frame, or with a 240-minute time frame as a common time frame. So you have all the time frames for all the markets, for common, for edge, and also for the most conservative traders, for reactive. Okay, so common, edge, reactive, common, edge, reactive. So this is a pretty complete page with a lot of things here. Again, feel free to ask for it. If you don't have it yet, we will email it to you. Okay, for the longer term traders, we use this one. Okay, we use this one with minute time frames and also range time frames. Okay, out of specific common time frames, edge time frames, and reactive time frames. Okay, and here on the left you have everything with Fibonacci numbers, and here on the right you have everything without Fibonacci numbers in case you use a platform that does not give you access to Fibonacci timeframes. Okay, or you use TradingView that does gives you Fibonacci access, but only if you are a paid subscriber of TradingView, which TradingView allows you to be a free subscriber instead of paid. But also if you're a free subscriber, then you cannot use the Fib timeframes, so then you have to use the non-Fib timeframes, which you have on the right, which is more or less the same. Fib is always better, but this is obviously not crazy. Okay, and finally for the Forex, okay, we have a specific set of timeframes of Forex for intraday traders of Forex, 6240 with A21 or 515 if you are not using Fibonacci timeframes. Okay, so again, all those documents are available, and if I'm not missing anything, all of this is basically your set of tools, of course, together with the apps, AutoClimate, AutoUFO, running either on TradeStation or TradingView. But I don't think I need to explain that. I think we all know that, okay, isn't it? Cool, okay. So I'm done with everything from my end. So now I'm gonna take your questions. I see a question coming from France. So let me read it and we will go for it. So France says, questions about the trade management in Forex. How do we use the time stop rule for Forex, and after how many candles in the each time frame we close the trade or move the target profit, I guess, to a break even, okay, to the break even point. Okay, so first, the rules for trading Forex are exactly the same compared to the rules to trade futures. So in other words, if you look at the flowchart, it tells you that when it comes to time stops, that's optional. So it's optional both for Forex and futures. In other words, you may conclude, hey, I'm not going to use time stops. And that's a valid approach. Some of you have been trading, practicing, backtesting, and you discover the type of trader you are. Okay? What I mean by that is that every action that we do in trading has pros and cons. So what are the pros and the cons of the time stop? Well, the pros of the time stop is that they will keep you safer. They will take you out when the market is not moving the way it's expected. That is often happening right before a change of climate. So you will be stopped out. So by using a time stop, many times you will be kept safe and you will be taken out of a trade that could end up being losing, and you will be taken out for a small profit or a break even or something like that. And in other words, it will keep you safer. That's the beauty. But what's the downside? Well, the downside, especially in markets that are 24 hours, right? There are times that the market is very quiet, depending on the time of the day, depending on things, and maybe your time stop rule triggers and you get out of the trade, and 2 candles later, that currency begins moving exactly the way you expected it, reaches all the way to target 2, but you're out because of the time stop, you had to close the trade. So the pro is that it keeps you safe. The con is that sometimes it will get you out when it was better actually to stay in. So if you notice what I just said right before explaining the pro and the con of the time stop, I said that some of you have been practicing time stops and you got to discover what trader you are. That's what I said, right? So what did I mean by that? What I mean by that is that some of you realize this is really bothering me, getting out of a trade and then see it happen all the way. I'd rather stay in, and if I get stopped out, so be it, I'm okay with that. But missing the trade really bothers me. It gets me emotional, and next trade I make a mistake because I got emotional because the prior trade bothered me. So some of you discover you are that kind of trader, and that's fine. So if you were to be that trader, what should you do? Well, either not to use time stops, that's why it's optional, or instead of using a 3 to 5 candle rule, maybe use a 5 to 8 candle rule, or you give yourself more time, knowing that you got less of the benefit, but you also got less of the problem. Okay, and maybe you can fine tune the sweet spot for you to use time stops if you realize you are that kind of trader. On the other hand, you may have realized, oh my God, I love time stops. Because thanks to time stops, I have avoided so many of those losses, and really I have a tough time assuming losses. I mean, if you have a tough time assuming losses, then we need to work on that, because you should never feel bad for taking a loss because it's part of trading. But at the same time, especially if you are in early stages, maybe you really feel bad about that, or it's taking a long time for you to understand the importance of learning and assuming that taking losses from time to time is part of this business. And if it does help you and alleviates avoiding some of those losses, then using time stops may be for you. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to experience the time stops to conclude if it's useful or not for you to use. That's why we made that rule optional. Second, if you were to use it, my recommendation would be that you use the same rules that we use for Forex or futures. It doesn't matter the market, use the same rules, unless you end up tweaking it because you realize, you know what, I do like time stops, but sometimes they may take me out. I'm just gonna give myself a little bit extra time. So if you were to do that, and you backtest it, and you get a sample of trades, and it worked okay for you, and you are satisfied with the results, and you build some confidence about it, and so on, and now you have an easy time implementing it in this way, then go for it. Okay? So that's my answer. Okay, so let me see if I answered everything about that. And Franz, if I haven't answered your question properly, or there is something missing, let me know. How do we use time stop rule for Forex? After how many candles in the H time frame we close the trade or move? Yeah, that would be it. Okay, and if you want it to be honest, I'm a little undecided to say what I'm about to say. Okay, but I'm gonna say it because, again, we are a smart group of people here, and I know you'll take it the right way. But make sure you take it the right way. Okay, so because we don't want to overcomplicate what we do. Everything we do needs to be simple. And what I'm about to say, it's adding a little bit of complexity, so I don't like that, okay? But anyway, it could make sense. So maybe what you want to do is, okay, if you are trading around the Tokyo Open, or you are trading around the London Open, or you're trading around the US Open, where things should happen fast, maybe you gave yourself a time stop rule of only a few candles. But then if you trade during times where the market is slower, which is like, for example, when the US market closed and US traders are down trading, but Asian traders are still asleep and everything is very slow, or other times during the day where it's slow, maybe you give yourself more amount of time for your time stop rule. So this could make sense too. Okay, the problem is that now it's more complicated. There is more manual action. So that's why I was hesitant of saying what I just said. Okay, it would make sense. It would be, I think, from a common sense point of view, it would be a good rule to have. But then it becomes too tedious. Okay, so my philosophy is just to use the same rule all the time, and that's it. Okay, but again, you will need to decide that, because time stops go close, very, very, very close with your trading personality. So like, for example, using stop losses, that's for everybody, always, every single trade. We always, always, always use stops with no exceptions. No matter who you are, no matter how large is your account, no matter of your experiences and your personality. So then that's it. That one is easy, but the time stop is not. The time stop has a lot to do with your personality. I mean, actually everything optional has to do with your personality. Okay, the too far too fast rule has to do with your personality. The UFO trading exit has to do with your personality. But the time stop probably is the one that has the greatest impact. Okay, and therefore I totally understand your question, Franz. Okay, so very, very good question. Bojan, as I have first-hand experienced this, instead of getting bothered emotional, I took the statistical route. I found that time stops saved me from more big losses and prevented a few big winners. I still track it to this day. Yeah, very good. And keep tracking it until you get to understand that that is the pro, that is the con, this is what happens, this is how it is, and then you make a choice. And you're like, okay, so this is how I'm gonna trade. And then you know it. But it's an important decision, isn't it? So good job, Bojan, doing all that tracking, because of course tracking takes time. But certainly it's an important decision to be taken, because if you didn't know why you use time stops or why you don't use time stops, and today, let's say an amazing trade, like those amazing, beautiful book trade in front of you on your screen, was to be taken out because of a time stop and the trade is amazing, that would get you very, very doubtful. What am I going to do next trade now? Do I use the time stop or I don't use it anymore, right? And if you find yourself with that level of hesitation or, being doubtful about your own rules, then that's not going to help you in trading. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense, isn't it? So you got to be sure of why you do the things you do. Sometimes in these sharpening sessions, guys, sometimes I have explained things that are so simple, and it took me 1 full hour to explain such a simple thing. And why is that? Because sometimes what I really, really, really want you guys to understand is why. Why certain thing is the way it is. And the reason why understanding why is so important is because we're adult. Okay? We're adults, we are owners of our own actions, and there's no way you can be confident of certain actions unless you understand why. And by the way, why is not enough. After the why, you need to practice it, you need to see it happen, to build skill, to build confidence, and then you really do it well. But there's no way you will be able to build confidence as an adult unless you really understand why, right? So for you to understand why for yourself you use time stops, or why you don't use time stops, or why you use 5 candle rule or 8 candle rule or 3 candle rule, you just need to go through the process of putting time and effort, practice it, track it, like Bojan has said, and therefore understand what you want to do. This would not be the case if we had a crystal ball and we can see the future. But given the fact that this is not the case, and it's all about probabilities, so this is exactly like running a business. You are about to hire an employee, they both got benefits, they both got disadvantages. So which one do you pick? Right? You need to know why you pick the employee you pick. So if in the future that employee provides the disadvantages you were expecting, you are not gonna be like, oh my God, I should have picked the other employee, right? You knew when you picked that employee the pros and the cons of that particular person, that particular professional. Okay, no one is perfect, no rule is perfect, no market is perfect, nothing is perfect. Therefore, we need to understand what we got in our hands and deal with the probabilities derived from it. Okay, and that's why I'm coming back to my own words, like 20 minutes ago, when I said I'm counting on some of your time and effort, because that's what is needed for you to get to that stage of understanding of yourself and your methodology and your rules, so you can just act effortlessly with a full level of self-awareness and consciousness about what you do, what's going on, why things are going on, and then you can be totally relaxed in front of whatever happens, good or bad, for your account. Because good or bad for your account is just a natural outcome of your trading process, and you know it. Like you really, really know it effortlessly. Okay, that's the level of peace of mind you want to reach to be able to excel in trading. Okay, that's it. So very good question, Franz. Very, very good question. I wish I could answer with one number. Okay, but even if I had that one figure, I tell you 13 candles, right? So even if I had that one figure, the fact is that it will not be valid because all of us have a different personality. Okay, so I personally I'm very, very bothered missing a trade. Okay, that's my personality. I don't care. It doesn't impact my next trade, but it bothers me. Okay, and when I feel it bothers me, then I'm okay with it, because I'm like, okay, hey Jose, you notice it's bothering you? It always bothers you, isn't it, Jose? You know it bothers you, right? That's it, done, keep going. Not a problem. It's not going to impact my next trade, but it bothers me. It's like if you know that there is a person in your neighborhood who always parks the car in a way that then it's disturbing other cars, so and there is no way to fix the problem, and you choose to not to change neighborhood, and obviously getting rid of that person will be against the law. So that's a pretty bad joke, by the way. So you got two choices: either choose to stay in that neighborhood, and when you see that car in that not proper parking position bothering other people or yourself when you get your car out on the street, so you will be like, oh, that's it, this guy already did one more time. But this is not going to be disturbing your day for everything else that you need to do on the remaining part of your day. If you were to allow this to happen, well then basically you got a problem. External factors are controlling your life instead of you basically gaining control. And there are a few things in life we can control. This is one of them, which is our own the place where we choose our own mindset to be. Is that making sense? So this is exactly the type of peaceful mindset, if you wish, that we need to achieve in trading. And all begins by understanding who is who, your neighbor and the way he parks, or the outcome of a time stop rule. Okay, so that's it. Again, I could have said that in 3 words, okay? But it's important that you internalize the concept so you trade in a peaceful manner. And when you track it the way Bojan is suggesting, and then you look at the results, you're like, oh yes, now I get the results, and now I get why, and now I understand if I do that, this is gonna happen. So then when it happens, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's happening the way I knew it was going to happen, and even though it's against my account, it's fine because I knew it was going to happen like that. And it's peaceful. Franz, I have traded around 30 setups with the time stop rules with 6 candles in Forex. I found out after 6 candle, most of the setups never reach safety target or stop loss. Yeah, so somehow, Franz, you are saying, which is good for your confidence, and it's nice of you to share for the rest of the students in the room. What you're saying is that, you know what, the time stop has a reason to be. Because if you have the climate in your favor, number one, and you have on-field orders pointing at the set direction, number two, and you have a moving average lining up with that, which the moving average may provide additional on-field orders on top of the on-field orders already available. And if all of this is true, the target is far, acting as a magnet for price to go there. There is nothing to stop the price from continue working and moving in that particular climate direction. So if all of this and all of the above is true, then the market has to move. And if the market doesn't move, so it can only be one reason, which is there is a lot of orders entering in the opposite direction, and that may imply a very slow movement, which puts you at risk, or even worse, a change of climate, which now guarantees that you get stopped out. So basically what you're saying is that you found useful you find a good use, or you find the reason why the time stop rule exists, which is nice, okay? Because obviously my job as your coach is to give you rules, but it's nice when I see that you guys understand why the rule is there. Again, I'm talking about the why. Does that make sense? So now you have a greater level of confidence using the rule. Of course, then I am reading between the lines that you, like me, we're a little bit perfectionist, okay? So you are looking for, okay, so should I do 5 candles? Should I do 7 candles? Should I do 8? Should I do 3? Okay, so it's nice that you did some tracking after 30 trades, and it seems that after 6 candles, you see most of your trades fell. Therefore, the right rule to use would be to use a rule of maximum 5 or 6 candles, I would say, and not to exceed that, okay? But again, 30 samples being enough is not that many. And also we need to see if that was happening in the same currency or not, or correlated currencies or not. So I would recommend you to keep tracking, like Bojan is doing, across multiple currencies that are not correlated and multiple timeframes, to come up with some sort of a universal rule for yourself that is easy to apply, and you build more confidence, because if you see that same statistic replicate among other currencies and other timeframes, well then, you're going to be very comfortable saying to yourself, hey, I'm going to use 5 candles, okay, or 3 or 4 or whatever, but you know why, okay, and that's going to put you in that position of, okay, I got stopped out by the time stop, it's part of my plan, this is what happens, I'm happy it happened, let's go for the next trade. Peaceful, okay, no problem. No, what if I was to change my rule? What if next time I do 7 candles? So you know what to expect. Anyway, critical conversation, even though what we're saying is very simple here, okay? Time stop rule is probably the simplest rule to apply. You only need to look at the time, but at the same time, it's a very critical conversation here. Okay, more questions or comments? More questions or comments? Okay, I know we have a little bit of delay with a YouTube broadcast, depending on where we are in the world, isn't it? But again, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if you have any question, so I can take it and give you an answer. And if not, it's fine. It means everything is working fine, and then we just conclude the session for today, and that's it. By the way, would you mind to guys, would you mind to type on the chat box, where are you in the world? Because out of memory, I remember where some of you are, but of course it's difficult for me to remember of everybody. So it'd be nice if you could type it. It'd be nice. Franz, you are an intraday trader. Can I use both the 60-minute time frame setup and the 240-minute time frame setup in one account? The answer is yes, Franz. Very good question again. The answer is yes, but there is a but, okay, which I need to explain, okay? Pansy, you're in Florida in the US. Very nice. Bill, California, USA. Nice. Very nice. So so here is the what's important, okay? Alan, Texas. When will I be visiting Florida? I'm not sure at the moment, Pansy, but I will be around at some point, okay? And I will certainly make it public, so you guys are aware of it. London for Prague Hakara, San Diego, California, Indonesia for France. Very nice. That's very cool, guys. Okay, so Maryland, USA for Geneva. Very nice. Thanks for that, guys. Thanks for that. Again, it brings me a little closer to you guys, especially because I've been in all those locations, so it's very nice. Florida for Maca. Cool. Okay, so going back to France. Okay, so now if you are doing intraday trading, and even if you are combining intraday with swing, you could certainly use the same account at the same time. No problem. The only problem is the correlation risk. Okay, so think about this. Let's say you are using the 240 minutes setup and you got long, so you are long the Euro USD. Let's say you did that. And then with a 60 minute setup, you also got long the Euro USD more or less at the same time, or maybe not the Euro USD, the Euro Yen, but more or less at the same time. But what's the problem? You are long the Euro twice. So you are in a correlated position, and if you're right, you are likely to profit in both, which is nice. But if you're wrong, you are likely to get hurt in both, which is not a good one. Okay? So the best way to approach this, okay, I'm going to give you two alternatives, is take a trade and don't take another trade until you hit safety target on that first trade. The moment you hit safety target on the first trade, then place the order for the second trade. Because now you can execute multiple trades in parallel, knowing that only one of those trades can lose at the same time, because the prior one already reached the safety target. Now, of course, by doing that, you will limit the amount of activity. So if you want to be more active and you are going to be exposed to multiple trades at the same time, then my recommendation is to go with 50% of the size. 50% of the size. So if you normally risk 1% per trade, but as we speak, you have an opportunity for you to take both trades at the same time, just use half of the size. That's a valid decision. Okay? But personally, I don't like it, and here's why. It's called Murphy's Law. Okay? So you have your entry UFO on the Euro US dollar, and you have your entry UFO on the Euro US dollar yen, right? So you identify the opportunity, you place an order to buy at this price, okay, on the top of the UFO for the Euro US dollar, and you place another order to buy with the Euro yen using the other UFO, right? So you have an entry price right here, and you have an entry price right there, okay? And now one of those currencies come to you, gets you filled, starts moving your way, you're very happy, and now next thing you know, the other currency comes a couple of pips close to your entry, misses you by 2 pips, and now they both travel all the way to the target. So what's the issue about that? Well, the issue about that is that yes, you did went to the target, but you did it with half of the size. So in other words, you create variability on your account risk. And therefore you're exposed to Murphy's Law, and you're exposed to, another way to say that is that you're exposed to luck, because now if you were to take the next trade is a loss, full loss with a full size, and then the next 2 profits are profits taken with 50% of the size, so then you are really not helping your account. You are again exposed to Murphy's Law. So I don't like this, unless the price was already inside the UFO, and if you do it quickly, you know you can get filled on both trades at the same time, then it's okay. But if you have to do it with a limit order and you have to wait to get filled, so I personally don't like that one. I prefer to pick one, get filled, and only when I reach safety target. And then I take the other one, no matter the style, could be both intraday with 4 hours, 60 minutes, but also long term, okay, with the daily, whatever. So I'm okay with using the same account for all those trades as long as safety target has been hit first. Okay? Cool. So friends, if you could confirm that you are with me on this answer. Very good question, friends. And by the way, I love it because your questions prove that you are doing exactly what I said, which is to put time and effort into going over the process and developing your own experience, own confidence, own aha moments, own expertise. So way to go, because those questions certainly reflect that, okay? Very good, everybody. So I believe that we're gonna call it a day. It's been a pleasure to see you in the session today. Remember, we have a plan. We are committed for December 29 that you're gonna go ahead and put together a 1, 2, maybe 3 paragraph maximum written explanation of how do you plan to trade in 2020, so we can talk about it in a proper way. so then you can fine-tune that and put it into practice into 2020. Okay, again, I understand, and I also understand that many of you are watching this recorded, so you are not here live at the moment, so you cannot comment, but I do understand that many of you are in learning stages and maybe you are not ready to go live in 2020 yet, but it's okay. Again, one of your accounts should be devoted for serious trading. You need a plan. Even if it's a paper money account, you gotta approach all the trades in that account in a proper, serious manner, following a specific setup, following a specific plan, following a specific set of rules. You have to. And then, if you are in learning stages and you want to experience other time frames, other apps, other methodologies, other whatever, use another account that could be real or demo too, and you do experimental trading in that other account. But no matter if you are new or experienced, you need to have a plan for 2020. Is that making sense? So I'm talking about that one, and I'm counting on you for that. And I'm making myself available for you to be your deadline and to keep you accountable, and of course to collect all those comments so I can then give you feedback about it and kind of coach you into what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, so you begin in the right foot. Okay, anyway, so see you then. Super pleasure. Orange County, Royce, very nice region as well. Yeah, very nice, everybody. See you very soon. I will see you on the 19th, that is next Thursday. We'll be doing longer term trading, so that's next Thursday. I will see you then. Everybody, you take care. See you then. Bye bye. Take care, guys.